Hey, it's Thursday. Time for another action figure adventures video here on SEO Toy Review. Today, Baby Skeletor and I are taking a look at a giant box of Batman toys. So as a kid in elementary school, I befriended the son of a comic book writer. Became lifelong best friends with my buddy Derek without knowing what his dad did. Turns out his dad was a comic book writer and is one of the creators of Bane and the creator of the Black Mask villain for Batman. And just recently, his mom called me up to ask me a question about something unrelated, and then she said, hey, swing by the house sometime. We have some toys that have been sent to Doug, and, that he doesn't want them. So I went over and picked up this box of figures, and we're going to take a look at all the cool stuff that's inside here. Very few of these have ever appeared on the channel before, but I think there's one figure that I did a review about. First thing out of the box, I've got the Bane figure from the new Batman Adventures series. This is by DC Collectibles, and this figure is sort of a redesign. Bane appeared early on in Batman the Animated Series for one episode, and then he got a redesign and appeared in one episode in the new Adventures. I think the episode that Bane appears in from the new Batman Adventures is the best episode of the animated series. It's incredible. I don't want to tell you about it because it will spoil it, but it is phenomenal. So, like all of the figures from this line, he's very accurate to the way he appeared in the cartoon. Big, chunky torso, skinny, tiny legs. Back of the package just has the artwork from the show, with Nightwing and Robin there. There's no cross-sell saying who else was released in this wave. But they sent Doug multiple copies of this Bane, so I might keep one in the package and open one up. I'm going to check with my buddy Paul and see if he wants one of these. He collects the Redback figures. They're the ones based on the original seasons of the animated series. The Blueback represents the new Batman Adventures. And Paul doesn't usually collect them, but he's the only person I know that really has a big collection of these guys. Next up, we've got a Batman Arkham Origins set that contains 4 figures. Batman, the Joker, Black Mask, and Deathstroke. They sent this to Doug because it contains Black Mask, one of his characters. They had previously sent him a bunch of DC collectible toys of Batman and Bane from the series, and I guess that was from a previous game. But Doug had passed those on to me a long time ago, and this set looks pretty cool. I'm not sure how this Batman compares to some of the other Batman they released. And it also looks like the Black Mask figure was released a second time, either reusing the mold exactly or very similarly. There might be some slight paint variations. The mask on the single pack one looks a shade darker than the single pack one. Other than that, though, it really does seem pretty identical. The back of the single carded Black Mask shows off Batman, the Joker, Black Mask, and Bane, which I do already have that Bane figure. The back of the 4-pack shows off there were quite a few sets, including the Joker as Red Hood, Copperhead, and Deathstroke unmasked, Batman, the Joker, Black Mask, Bane, Deadshot, Deathstroke, Killer Croc, Anarchy, and Firefly. The next 3 figures are from a series called Batman Nightfall. They are labeled as Series 1. Unfortunately, there was no Series 2, because I would have liked to have seen more characters. They really didn't do enough villains in this line, but they did a really nice job of capturing the likeness of the characters the way they looked in the comics at that point in time. This Catwoman is very much inspired by the Jim Balent art of the time. Like many of the DC Direct toys of this era, these guys are slightly articulated statues. You can see some really great paintwork on Nightwing. That's kind of where these figures excel. It's their sculpt and paintwork. But, kind of like McFarlane toys in the 90s. The posability wasn't really there. They're collector pieces, not really action figures. Here we've got Mask of Tengu Batman. This is probably the most Nightfall specific of these 3. Bruce Wayne has to relearn all his skills to retake being Batman after having his back broken by Bane. And this is Bruce in his Mask of Tengu costume as he goes through his training. The back of the package shows off Mask of Tengu Batman, Azrael Batman, Nightwing, Catwoman, and Bane. I really like the Azrael Batman and Bane figures from this line. They turned out really cool, and that's probably the reason why Doug hung on to those figures. Out of this wave, Azrael, Bane, and Mask of Tengu Batman are the ones that are most directly influenced by Doug. He did write for the Catwoman book for quite a while around that era, but he didn't really design the costume, but he was involved with the creation of some of these other characters. Next up, from the DC Direct Elseworlds Series 1, we've got Thrill Killer Batgirl and Thrill Killer Batman. I kind of wish Elseworlds had stuck around. I really think they let the writers be very creative with the characters. Here we've got Red Sun Superman and Red Sun Wonder Woman. I know Red Sun is one of the Elseworlds that fans have been clamoring to be made into a DC animated movie. Now, Thrill Killer and Red Sun were not written by Doug, but this wave of figures was sent to him because of Crimson Mist Batman. Check that out. The rotting corpse of Vampire Batman from the third Batman Vampire book. The one that would go on to inspire the Nightmare Batman, as they tend to call him now. Related to Crimson Mist Batman, we have Vampire Batman. This is the one figure in this box from Mattel, part of the Multiverse line, and this was based on the second of the 3 Batman Vampire books, Bloodstorm. Here we have Batman as a vampire with his wings. He comes with the stake, the bat stake accessory, and I'm a big fan of this figure. I bought this when it first came out. I was so excited about it, and I'm definitely going to be displaying one of these carded versions because I just think this was an incredible figure. Nightfall and the Batman Vampire series had such a huge impact on me as a kid because I remember watching them be created, like hearing Doug having meetings on the phone about these series, getting to meet some of the artists that worked on them, like Kelly Jones and John Beatty, and other writers like Chuck Dixon. And it was just such an incredible part of my childhood, and something that's so, I totally get, not normal, right? Like, who gets to meet the people that create their favorite movies or their favorite comics as a kid? But I had that experience, and it was so much fun, and so it was really great getting to take a look at these toys. And oh man, I love this Vampire Batman. Thanks for watching this Action Figure Adventures video. Do Baby Skeletor a favor, hit that like and subscribe button.